Golfers, get ready. David here with Shoot for Par. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I have been super excited to be able to bring this to you. What I have is I have three different 4 hybrids. I've got the Callaway Apex, I have the TaylorMade Stealth 2 hybrid, and I have the Cobra AeroJet. This is a head-to-head-to-head challenge. And Justin, we've looked over these. Some of these have different weights, different flexes, different lengths, and we are going to show you how just by their differences we end up with different results. So Justin, I think you told me I'm starting off with the Callaway Apex. Is that correct?
Yep, starting off with Callaway Apex 23 degree 4 hybrid. That's going to be a stiff shaft, 80 gram, standard grip. Let's see what kind of numbers we get.
Pro V1 is still the ball of choice for this. First of all, the Callaway Apex is the heaviest out of the 3, and it has a more pear-shaped head compared to the other 2. Very short head-wise, and like I said, it feels very heavy.
Little off center, but pretty well square right there in the center of the club face. 96 mile an hour club speed, 130 mile an hour ball speed. Carried 197.
That was thin, very thin. So is length an issue for me with this club? It does feel, out of the 3, it feels the shortest. And we were getting warmed up with some other clubs. I'll try to stay down in this one. A little pulled.
Little off the toe.
Man, when you get a hold of it though.
Yep. Rip one out there to 232. There we go. There's a nice clean shot. 90 mile an hour club speed, 135 ball speed, carry almost 200 yards, total 210.
How many we got so far? 4?
Yep, 4 of them.
That's another pull. I'm going after it, and I do believe that the length of the club is causing me to pull those. I'm going to put the ball just a little bit back in my stance and try to offset me trying to pull it off to the right. Ball was in the center. Now I'm going to go just one ball back. See if that changes anything. Now we're starting to hook.
Way out.
That was a toe strike.
Yep.
Uncomfortable. Did not feel in sequence. And it shows in the numbers. Forgiveness-wise, that did not feel good.
Yeah.
At all. That's going to be the one right there. Yep. I don't think I'm going to hit any better than that.
Nope, that's a good looking shot. 91 mile an hour club speed, 137 ball speed, carry 204, total 215. You know, we talk about forgiveness on clubs. You know, you step up into a more of a player's club, you're going to start losing forgiveness. And whenever you have those missed shots, there's where you're going to see them. You know, that's what they say whenever you hear forgiveness is you hit one out on the toe, but you still get the distance and you may be off a little bit on your dispersion. But in a club like that, you know, on a higher level, you're not going to get that forgiveness. It's going to be what it is. Yes.
And I would expect with the TaylorMade Stealth 2 being up next, pay close attention, everybody, to the apex of these ball flights, because this Fujikura shaft is a 50 gram regular shaft. So very light. This is the lightest I feel out of the three and the longest. I would expect that we see that apex of this shot to be much more higher in the air. I would almost argue that this almost feels more like a 5 wood than it does a 4 hybrid.
It does feel like it's just, yeah, holding it does. Mm-hmm. A whole lot higher, 120 feet in the air. And look at the carry in the total. You know, 221 carry, 234 total, 90, almost 98 mile an hour club speed with 142 ball speed. Hit pretty center.
You can tell I'm just going after him.
Yeah.
It's not the club. That's me doing that. Maybe with the Callaway, it may have been the club, but
there we go. A little out on the toe, not crazy. But look at the height on that, 131 feet compared to, let's just go back one more time, 91 feet.
I mean, it's a night and day difference. This,
yes.
The TaylorMade Fujikura shaft in this, it just feels effortless. Like once it's loaded and it gets unloaded, it's launching, and it's not like there's a substantial difference. This is 23 degrees, and was not the Callaway also 23 degrees?
Yes.
But when you just think about how the face is shaped and the technology that's there, it's certainly much easier to get the ball up in the air. For this next shot, I am going to try to see how high I can actually get this. And Justin and I are always a fan of backspin and how far a ball will roll out. Let's see if we can just get this thing as high as we can get and get a good descent angle.
$127 feet, 48.6, 42.9 on the backspin. Look at that. So 12 yards for rollout. Not bad, not bad. So when we talk backspin and we talk descent angle, those two are going to paint the picture of how far that ball is going to go. You know, you hit it and carry 200 yards. Well, if your backspin is in the thousands and your descent angle is shallow, that thing's just going to keep on going. You're going to gain 20, 30 yards. The higher it is in the air and the more backspin you have is the likelihood of that ball stopping after it makes impact. You know, if you're approaching a green, that's what you want. You want that thing to stop. You don't want it to roll out. You don't want a rocket ball going past your green.
All right, next up, I've got the Cobra AeroJet. Now, this one in particular is still a 4 hybrid, but it is at 21 degrees, vice the other two clubs 24. This also has a KBS 75 gram regular PGI shaft, which me personally, I am a huge fan of KBS shafts. It's what I currently have in my Gamer hybrid, and personally, I feel that it feels the best for me as far as being able to load and unload to and through the ball. As far as length, it is the middle of the pack. It is longer than the Callaway, but it is shorter than the TaylorMade. A little bit of casting on that one.
Yeah. Pull that on the toe.
Really didn't feel like I hit it.
So we're backing down on the apex of this a little bit. Probably the highest club speed, 99 mile an hour, 142 ball speed, carry 230 yards.
Yeah, it's coming from the TaylorMade with it being as long as it is and just hitting the ball straight. Now, with the shorter club, I am duck hooking them horrendously. I'm going to try to stall my wrists out through my swing. Just get a nice ball flight.
There we go. Look at that. Nice shot there. 91 mile an hour, 137 mile an hour ball speed, 209 carry, 222 rollout.
That felt really good.
Yep, that's nice center hit there.
Are you kidding me?
That's a yeah.
Definitely not numbers I was expecting from this one. A little low on that one. You think we can go one more?
Yeah, give me another one. Let's see what we can get here.
So far, Justin, have you noticed like the lack of height?
Yeah. I mean, we are de-lofted 2 degrees, and if any more forward press you give this, you're going to de-loft that even more. So you're going to get that lower ball flight.
I mean, I'm even trying to get it up in the air, and it just seems like the more I try to get it up in the air, I'm just shutting down that face.
Yep.
I tell you what, let me try to change shot shape.
Change shot shape, maybe move it a little forward in the stance, see what that does.
And try to get a fade and get it to whip back to center.
Yep.
There's a little bit more height. Didn't spin around that time. That was a horrendous shot. Thin. You know, bad shots happen to everybody, not just you. Happen to me too. I thrive whenever I hit a bad shot because that means I've lost sight of the fundamentals of what I'm actually trying to accomplish. And that usually, in most cases, allows me to have a better shot right after it. We will see. Not that case. Another hook. I certainly don't feel fatigued. I feel like maybe its length is giving me a little bit of issue. We'll put it back in the stance a little bit, like we did with Callaway. That was scooped. Finally seeing some good numbers though. Height-wise, they weren't there before. All right, let's go last one. Yep, I think it's going to be it. Not getting the results. I mean, definitely get the distance for sure, but just the results in the face doesn't seem like they're there. Let's check grouping. I would expect that the AeroJet's going to be way right.
Yep, and it is.
Yeah, I'm all over the place.
Yep.
But also the furthest distance-wise.
Yeah, the furthest consistent distance, yes.
Okay, let's get an average from the session.
So your average carry 217, and with the Stealth 2 TaylorMade.
Can you go back to the shots underneath this AeroJet? There was that one. Yeah, delete that one errant shot that went 21. I wouldn't suspect that would go edit shot. and then click delete. There we go. Now go back and let's see if we've got a better average for the session.
Yep, there it is. So that Cobra right there.
So funny enough, talking to Justin, I had already previously hit this a couple times, and I said out of the three, this one felt the most comfortable for me, and I felt that it went the longest. But when you look at total carry, click carry again, get it to drop. When you see the TaylorMade Stealth, obviously because it's longer, we're going to see a little bit more distance, but the Cobra AeroJet definitely holding its own in the center of the pack.
Mm-hmm.
And then the heaviest club, the Callaway Apex, coming in last, a good 10 yards less than the AeroJet and 20 yards less than the TaylorMade. So what does that really tell us? Well, I would think that, number one, depending on the make of the person and how we actually are swinging the club, what we like, heavy is not always better if you don't have the swing speed to be able to get the ball in the air.
Yep.
For me, I feel like out of the three, the easiest to hit was the Stealth because it's longer and it almost felt more like a three fairway. But as far as, certainly not as indicated by the numbers here with 39 yards right, but the Callaway itself was the most accurate.
Yeah.
Right? So I think a lot of it has to do with the golfer and how you can really shot shape.
Which stresses the importance getting fitted for your club.
Yes.
It is very hard to go to any box store, wherever, you know, Golf Galaxy, PGA Superstore, Dick's Sporting Goods. Let's just go buy a club off the shelf and you pure one right there at the store. Oh, that's my club.
Mm-hmm.
Here's case in point that a proper fitting will get you where you need to be.
Yes. And I would stress the importance of, it's not the good shot that you necessarily should sell the club. It's the poorest shot that you can make with it. Is that ball still in play? Can you still find the fairway? Is your miss still acceptable? And I think a lot of golfers, they're going based off of what the club can do when it's, you know, executing at 100%.
Yep.
Well, your C game is what wins on the golf course, not your A game, because very rarely do you bring your A game to the course, which is why, you know, the USGA has handicaps.
Yeah.
Those handicaps are there for a reason because you're not always going to play your best. But when you have your C game, can you still manage the course, manage your misses, and shoot well and effectively? And I think for a lot of golfers, they're spending their hard-earned dollars just off of what the best will get them instead of what the managing their misses will actually accomplish. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yep.
Well, there you have it. Based off the numbers, I think as far as hybrids go, it all depends on what you're really trying to execute. You know, if you're trying to execute a lot of low shots to run out, perhaps you're at a location that's very windy, I think maybe a heavier hybrid is for you to try to keep the apex down. Like you could see the apex out of the three, the Cobra AeroJet actually beat the other two out. But the TaylorMade Stealth, if it's 10 miles an hour wind or higher, certainly not the club that I would want, because even if you can shot shape, you're not going to be able to hold that line.
Nope.
At all.
Nope.
But there you go, golfers. Just some information for you. As far as a head-to-head winner, it would appear that the TaylorMade Stealth wins, but I think there's an asterisk there, depending on, you know, what type of golfer you are and what you like and what you don't like. I think if you're a golfer that likes to keep it low, I think maybe, you know, a shorter club with, you know, a lot more mass is probably beneficial. If you're somebody that has a lower swing speed, perhaps the Callaway Epic would be for you. Or if you're somebody that, you know, you really are having a breakup session with your 3-wood, I think maybe a 4 hybrid would be a good alternate club for you. But this is David and Justin with Shoot for Par. Y'all have a great day.